The Toronto Raptors might be able to find the steal of the NBA draft with their 19th overall pick, and the best thing about this player is, when his name is called on draft night, he won't even be 19 years old. We're going to break down everything you need to know about Carlton Carrington and decide if he's the right man for the Raptors. Let's get into it. The Toronto Raptors have an excellent opportunity at the NBA draft to address the void that is their backup point guard position, which has plagued them for a number of years now. And there are a number of ways where you can actually find that backup point guard, be it the 19th overall pick, as I'm suggesting, or potentially the 31st pick or in free agency. But we've seen over the years it's proven to be very difficult to find a solidified player to lock down that role here. But I believe a player like Carlton Carrington, nicknamed Bub, or rather Lil Bub, could be the man for the Raptors in the 19th overall spot, who can really lock down that role for the team and be one for the future. He's not even 19 years old yet. He won't even be 19 when his name is called late June at the NBA draft by Adam Silver. But my goodness, this player has a lot of talent already and plenty of potential to boast as well. So over the course of this video, we're going to go through exactly who Carlton Carrington is. We're going to talk about his season with Pittsburgh. Then we're going to go into his strengths, his weaknesses. We're going to talk about a player comparable before finishing up with the final conclusion. Is this player a good selection for the Raptors with that 19th overall pick? So, Carlton Bub Carrington, or again, Lil Bub because his dad was Bub, played his season in college with Pittsburgh, and he's got good size. I mean, you see it straight out the gate. He's 6'5". At the NBA Combine, he was listed at 6'3" and 3/4 without shoes. So, maybe we can give him the 6'5". Does have a 6'8" wingspan, not rounded it up. It's exactly 6'8" on the wingspan. At least that's what was said at the NBA Combine. And this guy's a point guard. Came into college maybe thinking he could be a point guard or a shooting guard, but I think where this guy thrives is definitely with the ball in his hands as the lead playmaker, running perhaps a second unit at the NBA level. This is where you want to be playing this guy, and that add a little bit of size, just, it satisfies the eye for Raptors fans who already know Immanuel Quickley occupies the starting point guard position. So if there are some tandem minutes between Carrington and Quickley, if he does end up on the Raptors, size won't be an issue here. Carlton Carrington has the size to play this position and plays this position well potentially for the Toronto Raptors, who are in a bit of a rebuild phase at the moment. But before we get into now what he produced in that college season statistically, I want to let you guys know that this is Amateur Hour Sports, the YouTube channel dedicated to Toronto Raptors content, including draft content and draft profiles just like this one. There's going to be plenty more over the course of the month before we get to that NBA draft, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel and drop a like if you enjoyed this one along the way. But in that season with Pittsburgh, he produced some decent numbers here, especially for a point guard. You see it kind of fills up the stat sheet as you add on minutes potentially for the NBA level. Here's a player who has maybe some sneaky triple-double threat on a night-to-night basis. Opened up his college career with a triple-double, in fact, rather impressively, but average-wise, just under 14 points per game, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. The efficiency, nothing crazy here. Look, like I said, very young. He's still not even 19 years old. Oftentimes, efficiency does come with age, but as far as a player of this age playing at this level, this isn't that bad of an efficiency, though as we see, it is a field goal percentage of 41.2%, a three-point percentage of 32%, and an effective field percentage just under 50. And you really want to be a decent amount above 50. But hey, like I said, he's a young player. Efficiency can come with age. This is not exactly indicative of what he's going to be at the next level. But he does possess a lot of great traits that make me think he can be a great player at the NBA level. It may take some time. You might have to feel it out a little bit, get some development in, which is why I think that Carlton Carrington going at 19 to the Raptors would be great for the Raptors as well as himself, because if he ends up in the late first round in this area where he's on a team that is really vying for a top-tier playoff position, he might struggle to get that experience. He might struggle to get that minutes, and I think the Raptors can provide that to him and really help enhance these strengths associated with the player, starting with, well, the biggest thing is he's still very young. Plenty of time to shape the player, plenty of time to be patient and develop this player. And on top of that, he's got the size to play this position extremely well at the NBA level. As I said, 6'5", 6'8" wingspan. And if you see him, he's got a great frame as well, broad shoulders, and a good frame that can really fill out. And maybe not quite fill, but lean out and build up. Bulk up, rather, for the NBA level. He's got the right build for this position. His big strength on offense is the shot making. He is so smooth in self-creation, coming out of the pick and roll that could be creating for other players, but his shot making is big time. Is patient, knows how to get to his spots, is a dialed-in mid-range shooter, starting to show signs of being able to hit the three ball as well. Started off really hot shooting the ball from three in college, kind of tailed off near the end of the season, but according to reports in the combine and from workouts, he's been shooting the ball really well this summer, which bodes well for his draft position, potentially ending up at the 19th overall pick for the Raptors, because start of the season, he was projected as a high lottery pick. At the very least, a late lottery pick, but he's kind of fallen down as the season has gone on to be lower first round quality. And now I think he's starting to creep up again right into that 19th overall slot for the Raptors. Another reason why he's going to be up in this position is, as I said, the playmaking. Good passer, great ball handler, great out of the pick and roll. Doesn't always get to the rim, which we'll talk about as a bit of a weakness later on, but he's calculated, he's measured, not the quickest guy, but knows how to use his body movements really well, whether it's the hesitations, whether it's just a change of speed, kind of the way like Jalen Brunson plays as a point guard, where he's not the most athletic guy, but the ball movements, the hezzies, the different ways he can manipulate the defenses in this vein is something that is a strength for the player 100%. As I said earlier, he's a bit of a triple-double threat, can really fill up the stat sheet, a very good rebounder for his position, can put the ball in the basket, can shoot, can play make, can rebound. He's got all the packages you need in this position, and on top of all that, his defense is decent. He's got to improve in some areas, but his on-ball defense as a base for his age is good. He can keep the player in front of him. It's great for the single coverage. It's great for the on-ball stuff, the one-on-one stuff. When he gets switched on to a bigger guy, we may have some more issues there, but there is a good foundation for an on-ball defender here, a pesky on-ball defender here to develop for the NBA level. But as I said, there are some weaknesses associated with the player. This is the reason why he fell to more so the late stages of the first round in most mock drafts. He's still creeping up a little bit in some, in fact, around where the Raptors are picking in some. But the big things you need to worry about on the weakest category, well, the efficiency is something that is going to be concerning here. Look, like I said, efficiency should come with age, but we just need to see it a little bit more. We haven't quite seen it yet, so it's something that you need to consider ahead of the NBA draft before selecting the player. The three-point shooting consistency, as I said, tailed off near the end of the season. It's looked better in workouts, but who knows? Workouts aren't in-game situations. They're not always going to be the same. Something as well to consider for the NBA draft. Like I said, he's not the most athletic guy. Doesn't have that quick first step. That's just going to make things a little bit harder to develop at the next level, to get what he wants at the next level. This also makes it more difficult for him to put pressure on the rim. Like I said, he reads plays really well out of the pick and roll. He's a very smooth operator in mid-range, in the pick and roll settings, but he doesn't quite get to the rim enough. Sometimes he might be taking a little bit too many jump shots. I think you can fine-tune his game, work on this thing, work on getting some of those jump shots on beyond the arc rather than in mid-range. You know me, I don't love the mid-range shot, especially for role players like this, which is what he's projected to be in the NBA if things go really well. So something to consider, something that needs to improve for the NBA level, get into the rim and find those more highly efficient shots rather than always settling for mid-range. It's good to have that shot making, but we need to add in the other parts to his game as well. Final thing is the lateral quickness defensively. This is where you could have a little bit of issue. Yes, good frame, keeps players in front of him defensively, but just overall quickness, overall athleticism leaves a little bit to be desired. Otherwise, he'd be way higher in a bunch of mock drafts. This is why he's situated in the later stages of the first round, as I said. So all of these traits for the player, everything we know about him, what's the best sort of comparison we can give to an NBA player to give you guys a better idea of exactly who Carlton Carrington is? Well, I think that the ones I really like here, I have two. I think the main one here, and I could have kind of gone for the big one here, the home run, to make it a bit more interesting, but I think the most parallels I see are associated with Spencer Dinwiddie. Not the most athletic guy, but a smooth operator who knows how to get to his spots. Talented in getting some teammates involved. Decent rebounder for the position. Decent size for the position as well. Look, it's nothing super eye-popping here, but there are tons of good traits associated with Spencer Dinwiddie that I see paralleled again with Carlton Carrington. But another player that I really thought had a lot of similarities to Carrington, and if he wasn't a former first overall pick and a potential future superstar, I would have probably put him as a player here, and that's Cade Cunningham. Cade's not the most athletic guy, but he's smart, he's calculated, he reads the game extremely well, gets teammates involved. Sometimes Cade can be a little bit guilty of, shot hunting in mid-range. If the Detroit Pistons fine-tune Cade Cunningham's game to be a bit more efficient, getting to the rim, shooting more threes, potentially more catch and shoot threes, we could have probably an even better version of what we currently have of Cade Cunningham. I see a lot of similarities between Cade and Carlton Carrington, again, which bodes well for success at the next level in the NBA. But is it enough success? Is it enough talent to bank on the Raptors selecting this player with the 19th overall pick in the NBA draft? I'm once again going to reiterate my stance here that I believe going for a point guard in this, and look, the Raptors are going to be going for the best player available. They're going to go for talent here, but we're not sure what kinds of players are going to be available. But if Carlton Carrington is available at 19th overall, I'd be happy with the selection here. We'd have to see who else is available, but ultimately, I think addressing the point guard need is like the priority for this position. So if you're flip-flopping between a few guys, and one of them is a point guard and one of them is Carlton Carrington, he's a guy I really like in this position. Don't think he goes above Devin Carter on my potential players for the Raptors to draft in this position, but the upside appeal is definitely here for the player. Again, not even 19 years old as of yet. So if the Raptors can really work on developing his game, which I think they can, because they're going to have a platform to give him play time, then I think there could be some real success here. May not jump into the league right away and be effective. May take more of that Grady Dick route of having to feel things out. Maybe play in the G League for a little bit. Raptors have a great G League system with the Raptors 9-5. Feel his game out a little bit before then injecting him into the NBA level with the Raptors here. And I think this could be the backup point guard of the future for the team with the potential to maybe scale up into a bigger role going forward. I really like the traits that Carlton Carrington has, and I very, very much like the potential that he has displayed in his season with Pittsburgh. I think this would be a great pick for the Raptors. Maybe not top of my list, but nonetheless a great pick I'd be very happy with at 19th overall for the team. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Would Carlton Carrington make a good selection for the Raptors with the 19th overall pick? Give me your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. That'll do it for me for today. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for more Raptors content and draft content just like this. And I'll see you again next time for another video.